There are some amazing secrets you probably didn't know in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, from force powers the game doesn't tell you about, a secret location you probably haven't been to, and way more. Let's start with some secret interactions with alien creatures and droids. So I think we can all agree that BD deserves some more love for all the stuff he goes through. And you might not know this, but you can actually show your appreciation for your robot companion by giving him a fist bump. By holding down on the D-pad instead of pressing it, Cal will check in on BD and ask him if he's okay. Every so often this will trigger an interaction where BD perches on Cal's shoulder and sticks out one of his legs for a little fist bump. There are more interactions like this in the game though. We of course know you can pet the boglings you come across, but your Neko mount and even the spammels on Jedha are surprisingly cuddly. By pressing R1 while mounted, Cal will pet them and say something nice to them. Spammels can only be petted while you're standing still, but Nekos have two different petting animations depending on whether you are on the move or not. Quick note here by the way, don't forget you can bring your Neko to the stables in Rambler's Reach so you can call it for later use. Now sadly, there's no petting for the flying creatures, but by pressing R1 while gliding, Cal will still say something nice to them as well. So a lot of ways to show your love for the various creatures that help you out, but you can also out your frustration against some specific enemy types. Because thanks to a late game unlock, you are literally able to crush droids to a pulp with the Force. Now you won't be performing this move often, as it is tied to the upgraded version of Force Slow that you only unlock very late in the main story. But with it unlocked, you can pull a droid towards you with Force Pull, and if you then press square or X while they are hovering in front of you, Cal will crush it and kill it in one hit. Shout out to Reddit user Danilo for figuring this out, by the way. Now this trick only works on droids and only those that can be grabbed and held with Force Pull, but again it instantly kills them. So even the powerful Magna Guards, who can be pretty intimidating, are vulnerable to being grabbed and can therefore be crushed and killed instantly. Even though it only works on droids, this attack is really powerful and one of the coolest force powers we have in my opinion. And there is actually another trick that you can use against droids specifically, because instead of crushing them, you can also make them crush your enemies. The first thing you need in order to do this is get the slice upgrade for the specific droid you want to hack. Some of these can be bought from Cage by handing in bounty pucks, but there are also a lot that can be found by exploring, so we'll leave a guide listing all the droid slice locations in the video description. On their own, they're not that great, as you are only able to slice a droid in combat when they're low health, meaning they're often quickly killed by other enemies. So I didn't use it much until I read this comment from Sketch under one of our videos. Because if you also have the Electro Dart for BD unlocked, you can hack droids before combat even begins. Stay tuned as we'll tell you how to get that one in a bit, but for now just know this tool can be used for more things than just puzzle solving. And the game actually tells you about this when you get the dart, stating that hitting a droid outside of combat with an Electro Dart will make them easier to hack. But when trying this out, I actually immediately hacked any droid I shot with the dart. They will stay non-hostile until you start combat, and then they will turn on their allies, kill them for you, and then remain idle so you can destroy them and move on. Depending on the droids you are able to hack before a fight starts, you can make things a lot easier for yourself. Do keep in mind you really need the slice upgrade though, as shooting a dart at a droid you cannot slice won't do anything. Now I'm still not sure if this is intended and the tooltip is wrong, or if it's something else, but this ability can really set you up for success before a fight even breaks out. And high chance you got or will get this Electro Dart through the main story when you are asked to go to the Mountain Observatory. But you can actually get it way earlier than that. If you go to the Mountain Ascent meditation point right after your second main story visit to Jedha, you can already go through the green force fields and then make your way through here until you reach the Fogged Expanse meditation point over here on the map. Continue down the path from there until you find a Mogu. Take a right there, do some platforming, and then open this door with the Force to find another Mogu. Deal with it, keep going, and then after some more platforming, you'll find a group of Imperial soldiers next to a crashed shuttle. Deal with the troopers, then make your way up to the shuttle, crawl through, and the Electro Dart is yours. And the first place I recommend going with this upgrade is actually back to Coruscant, which also becomes available as a destination after that second story mission on Jedha. Make your way back from the landing pad to the elevator, and there you will find a door that requires an Electro Dart to open. There's a pretty powerful boss inside, but defeating it will grab you the slice upgrade for the DT Sentry droids, which is arguably one of the most useful ones to have considering how strong these droids are. By the way, if you liked the video so far, then leaving a like would really help us out, and subscribe for way more spoiler-free Jedi Survivor tips and tricks videos. Now, if you're planning on re-exploring old locations with your new Electro Dart upgrade, you of course want to get around as quickly as possible to grab any missed collectibles and unlocks. And maybe you already noticed this while playing yourself, but sprinting is actually not the fastest way to move around. Quickly dashing around is way faster. In fact, I tested the two together running from the gate of Rambler's Reach to the Mantis. Sprinting this distance will take you 43 seconds, whereas quickly spamming air dash will get you there in 30 seconds. Which is the same speed as using a Neko mount, which kind of surprised me because the Neko doesn't feel that fast, but apparently it is. But yeah, you can't bring a mount everywhere, but once dash is unlocked during the main story, you can always use that for faster movement. And the quicker you press circle or B after jumping, the quicker you can move, as you of course need to land before you can air dash again. So I pretty much just slide my thumb from the X to the circle button as I'm playing on PlayStation over and over again, and as you see, you barely notice the jump and it almost looks like Cal is gliding across the ground. Another trick you can use to get around quicker is holding R2 or the right trigger anytime you're on a zip line. This will speed up your movement, though it only works if you hold and not press the button. Still though, considering how many of these there are in the game, it's nice to know that you can get across them a bit faster by boosting your speed. And while exploring, you might come across these Bramlik creatures. They're not really that dangerous, they just roll around and expose their spikes if you get too close, but it turns out the spikes aren't the only dangerous thing about these creatures. If you force pull and then hold the Bramlik in front of you, they will open their mouths, and if you keep holding them, they will eventually break free and bite you. It deals very little damage, so it's not that dangerous, but Cal being eaten by a space pufferfish does look kinda funny, so maybe use it for some creative photo mode shots. If you found anything interesting in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, totally let us know, but for now, I have one final secret for you. Credit to D-Strike for finding this, a link to their channel will be in the video description, but did you know that the B1 battle droids have a bit of an artistic side to them? If you want to see what I mean, head over to this cave on Kobo over here on the map. Make sure to bring a Neko, as you'll need it to jump up and reach these vines, and then you can climb over to this ledge. There's a light source on a crate here, and to the right of it, practically invisible because it's covered in vines, is a narrow corridor you can push through. It's quite a long one, like it will take you at least a solid 2 minutes to reach the other end, but then you arrive in this pretty bizarre Easter egg room. There's a Mogu laid out in a very seductive pose and a group of battle droids that are making a drawing of it. Some of them are definitely doing a better job than others, but hey, it's the thought that counts, right? Now, there's not much more to this room, like you can't interact with anything, but it is still cool to find such a well-hidden Easter egg, and it kind of makes me wonder if there are more of these. If you want to leave, check the left side of the room when facing the Mogu to find another crack in the wall that will have you drop out again. Again, if you found more secrets, let us know in the comments and subscribe for way more videos on Jedi Survivor. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and if you want, you can watch our previous video on the best saber stances in the game by clicking on the screen. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.